It's a party in Bloomington, Indiana this Saturday. Ninth-ranked Illinois up against number 19 Indiana for a Big Ten showdown that's the first ever meeting with both teams ranked in the AP poll. Both sides have essentially blown out their competition in the first three games, so who really knows what to expect when they line up Saturday at 7:30 Eastern. Illinois won the last meeting when they played. That was back in 2023, a overtime thriller, 48-45, and that snapped a four-game losing streak in the series because Indiana took the previous four from 2012 to 2022. Pleased now to welcome in Jeremy Werner, who covers Illinois for 24/7 Sports. And Jeremy, when we talk Big Ten and you think Indiana and Illinois, they probably are not the first two teams that come to mind from a national spotlight standpoint. I'm looking at Ohio State, of course, Penn State, Michigan, Oregon, all of them. But now you have this marquee game on Saturday. What type of opportunity do you think this is for these programs with this level of magnitude of two ranked opponents?
Yeah, if you would have told me 3 to 4 years ago, Zach, that these two teams were meeting in a meaningful game in week 4 of the 2025 season between two ranked teams, I wouldn't have believed you. But I think it really speaks to the coaching that Illinois and Indiana have with Curt Cignetti turning this thing around so quickly. I think that speaks to the power of the transfer portal. And then Brett Bielema being able to retain a lot of players, develop as he did at Wisconsin. But I think the power of NIL and the pay-for-play era allows Illinois and Indiana to get some players that maybe they weren't able to get before. And now you just have it accentuates good coaching, I think, nowadays. And you get to see programs that were at the bottom of the Big Ten really step up and be knocking on that door. Maybe not to be Ohio State or Michigan or Penn State or Oregon, but they can be in the college football playoff conversation. So that's what this game is. A lot of people are building it up as a college football playoff playing game. Now, there's a long way to go in the season, and if either of these teams wins 10 games in the Big Ten, they're going to be able to get into the college football playoff. But to get 10 wins, it's a lot easier to beat one of these teams and get there, because Illinois has some tough tests coming up. USC next week at home, Ohio State in a couple weeks in October. Indiana's got tougher tests coming down the pike. But if you win this game, I just think it really establishes either of these programs, whoever comes out the winner, as in that next tier of Big Ten programs, that they can be a powerful Big Ten team. Maybe not national championship worthy, but the chance to compete for something like that. So that's why this game is so big for both these fan bases, is they get to flex their muscle and show that, hey, we are here if they're able to win this game.
Yeah, we saw Indiana surprise a whole lot of folks last year with the run they made all the way to the college football playoffs and their schedule, maybe not facing a lot of tough opponents. This will be their first Power 4 game of the season when they take on Illinois. And speaking of Illinois, you look at their defense, their all-conference defensive back Xavier Scott will likely miss a game with a foot and ankle injury. How tough of a blow is it for that defense?
Yeah, it's a big blow, and it's really unfortunate because it happened when the game was out of hand against Western Michigan. He tried to sky up for an interception, made an amazing play, but came down really awkwardly on his leg. So sounds like he's going to definitely be out for this game. We'll see long-term how long he could be out, and that's really tough because 4 of the next 5 opponents Illinois plays have great passing offenses, and that starts with Indiana and Fernando Mendoza, and they have a slot receiver in Omar Cooper who is really explosive. Over the last 2 years, has averaged more than 20 yards per catch. So to not have Scott, who's an all Big Ten first team cornerback last year, plays that nickel spot for Illinois, gives them versatility to bounce out to corner and guard guys like Elijah Surratt, who's an all Big Ten receiver as well. It's a loss for Illinois, and it just forces their depth to really step up. The good part is Illinois does have experience in their secondary. At cornerback, Torrey Cox Jr., he could bounce back from corner to slot. They have Jaheim Clark potentially returning after missing the last 3 games with a hamstring injury. They also had Tyler Strain, who's a 5th-year guy who had entered the transfer portal, who decided to come back to Illinois, and he's got a lot of experience, so at least can give you a serviceable option. But the only guy in their secondary who has an interception so far is sophomore Tanner Heckel, who is Xavier Scott's backup at that slot. He's one of the best athletes Illinois has, so he is a playmaker, but he's just not as experienced as Xavier Scott. So this would be a big moment for him. Can he be reliable? But certainly it's a big blow going up a great passing attack like Indiana.
Yeah, so maybe one thing that can help that passing attack to just slow them down when you don't have your corners is to get after the quarterback. And that brings me to two guys on both sides of the teams who have been very productive. You have Indiana's Mikhail Kamara and then Illinois' Gabe Akis. Gabe has the better numbers so far this year when you compare the two of them, but who do you think has the bigger impact?
Well, Gabe Akis has been off to an All-American start, but Kamara was an All-American last year. But you're right, Zach. Like this is two great NFL battles at left tackle and that right edge rusher, because Kamara is going to line up over J.C. Davis, who's a left tackle with NFL potential. He gave up 2 sacks to Duke and Vincent Anthony, who's an NFL prospect as well. So he's got to be on his P's and Q's against a guy like Kamara, who's an All-American last year with 10 sacks. But Carter Smith, the left tackle for Indiana, he's a potential NFL prospect too. So I think the scouts that are watching this game are really going to be watching these left tackles and edge rushers. But Gabe Akis is a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger than Kamara, who's an undersized pass rusher. But you're right, like Kamara or Fernando Mendoza, if he gets time in that pocket, he can really pick you apart, and he's actually really good against the blitz. So it's really important for Akis and that Illinois front 4, front 5 to get pressure and win their one-on-one battles. But Akis has been a game wrecker. Illinois is going to need that from him again at Indiana to have a chance in this game.
Yeah, the game within a game, always interesting to watch and monitor. You brought up Fernando Mendoza, and he's certainly gaining a lot of the eyes of the NFL guys. Like you mentioned, currently on CBSSports.com, he's listed as the 3rd QB prospect for this upcoming draft class. So you look at Mendoza, you look at Luke Altmaier, both are having great years in their own right this year. Which QB do you think has the better game tomorrow?
Well, Fernando Mendoza certainly looks like an NFL quarterback. He's kind of that prototype 6'5", 200-plus pounds, really a strong pocket passer, but he can get out and run. So he's been really impressive. He's lived up to the hype as one of the top transfer quarterbacks. What a great get for them after Rourke had a great season after transferring in last year from the MAC. So Indiana just seems like they continue to do well in the transfer portal there. But Mendoza, who was good at Cal last year, hasn't played a Big Ten defense yet, right? They've played some lower-level opponents. So I think it's really important for Illinois to disguise their coverages, which they're really good at, and find a way to get some pressure on him. But Luke Altmaier, I feel like he should be getting more buzz as one of the better NFL prospects. He's been there, done that, won in the clutch. So I think if Illinois just gives him a chance in the 4th quarter, Luke Altmaier is going to give Illinois a chance to win this game. They were in 6 one-score games last year. Altmaier led him to a 5-1 record. His pass efficiency in the 4th quarter and overtime in those games was almost perfect. It was about 170, barely throws any interceptions, just really shows up late in crunch time. So it feels like put some pressure on Mendoza in his first Big Ten game, see how he reacts. He's certainly capable of winning the game and outdueling Altmaier. But Altmaier, just give him a chance in the clutch. That's worked out pretty well for Illinois the last couple of years.
Yeah, both sides just have to like that their QBs have protected the ball and have not turned it over, which goes a long way towards winning a game, which now, speaking of winning, Jeremy, I had to ask you, who wins? What's the final score?
Yeah, you put me on the spot here. I've been going back and forth all week. I think Indiana definitely deserves to be the favorite. People forget they return a lot from that college football playoff team. They get a great transfer quarterback. Kurt Cignetti's done a really great job of adding guys through the transfer portal. But the one thing is Indiana has not played a lot of close games. That's partly to their credit because they just kind of blow out the teams that they should have beaten the last couple of years. Illinois has been in a lot of close games. So if they give Luke Altmaier a chance, I do feel like Illinois could find the edge. So I picked Illinois 31-28. I do like Illinois with the points in this one, but this is a complete toss-up. And I love that these two games, these two teams and these two programs are in such a meaningful game. It's certainly going to be crazy in Bloomington, because this could really just reestablish Indiana that last year was for real despite their strength of record. But Illinois is probably the 3rd toughest team that Kurt Cignetti has played at Indiana outside of Notre Dame in the playoff and Ohio State, the champion last year. So it's a great test for both teams. And as we said to start, whoever wins this has an inside track to that college football playoff. Yeah, line set at 6.5. You think it will be a lot closer than that. Either way, it should be a fun Saturday night over in Indiana, a 7:30 kick. Jeremy Werner, thank you so much, and safe travels out there covering the game tomorrow. And of course, tomorrow we have a whole lot of games for you to be able to watch over on CBS Sports Network. North Texas and Army, Ball State, UConn,
If you check out that Boise State Air Force game at 7 Eastern, if you watch the Morning Buzz, you'll catch my co-host Brandon Baylor, who'll be there on the sideline. So tap in to CBS Sports Network for a full slate of games, and tap in as well to us right here on CBS Sports HQ, because tomorrow morning we will be live from Lincoln, Nebraska, the site of that Michigan-Nebraska match. The whole crew led by Emily Proud hosting everyone out there with some special guests as well. I promise you, you will like it, you'll enjoy it, so go and watch it.